411 Live.
Where you can learn about issues that impact us every day. State of the world, 411 Live.
Real people, real talk.
Made to help people in our community in every way. For your girl, 411 Live.
I don't fly a lot. I fly occasionally. But when I see a pilot of color, I get excited. Nothing wrong with a white pilot. Let me be clear. But I don't see a lot of pilots of color, and I love the diversity. Hello, everyone. I'm Beverly Taylor. This is the 411 Live, Real People, Real Talk. There is a program in the metro Milwaukee area that may infuse a few more pilots of color in our airways, so to speak, in the airlines, in the Air Force, that kind of thing. And it starts by building young people, exposing them. It's a great program. But I have three important guests to talk about all of this. Mr. Charles Allen, he is the program director of New Beginnings Aerospace Ministry. And Juan Hogans, who is a student of the program, and his mother, Candace Hogans. Thank you all for joining me.
Thank
you for having us.
Yep, thank you.
I know this program has been around for a while.
Correct.
But I just found out about it, and I was really impressed with it. Mr. Allen, this is pretty nice. This is good. Exposing our young people, young students of color, to aerospace.
Yes.
So tell me, let me walk it back, though. Let's get some history, because I believe there was a Pastor Jerome Spencer, who had this vision.
He had this vision.
And then
Correct.
you came aboard. So kind of tell me about that.
It is talking about that vision. Here's the pastor, a young man, a great friend, a great pastor, sitting on his front porch, praying as to how we can institute a program in our church that would attract young people, get them off the street, and get them on a different path. And he got this vision of aerospace. He said aviation popped into his mind. So he called me and said, hey, I would like to start an aviation youth ministry in the church. And from there, that started in 2007 out in Waukesha at Waukesha Airport. And we operated at that airport until 2017. And during that time, we would take in children of color, diversity in the Waukesha area. But since the inception of the program, we always felt, a number of us pilots, both black and white, we always felt that a program like this really belongs in Milwaukee because of the talent that's there.
Untapped
talent that many of our children didn't realize that they have until they were exposed to it.
Yeah.
And you said the magic word, exposure. We sometimes use the word exposure and we say options. We used options at first. And so here's option A, you can go down this path. Here's option B, this path will take you wherever.
Yeah.
And young kids, when they look at their options, they usually pick option B.
Yeah. Okay, and let me kind of pinpoint why Pastor Spencer went to you, because you are an Air Force pilot. You have that skill and that experience, right? And, I was talking about so few people of color who are pilots. But back when you were in the Air Force, I'm sure that was it. You were probably the only one in a lot of situations, right?
Many situations.
Yeah.
And to throw a little bit more history, prior to the beginning of the ministry, there's like 5 of us black pilots, believe it or not. And over the years, all Air Force, and over the years, we always say, well, how come we're just so few in number? And one of the major reasons we were so few in number is because, one, there weren't a lot of us out promoting us. And even when we promoted us, the number one drawback is cost.
Yeah.
To get a private pilot's license on an average between $8,000 to $12,000. Our people just can't afford that. And I used to use the analogy, imagine if young Juan here had to pay $8,000 to play basketball or football, he would never do it.
Right.
Or golf or tennis. Pick a sport. But aviation, it costs. So how can we get our untapped talent and make them aware of this career field? The only way to do it is to bring them to the airport, put them in airplanes, and let them see for themselves what awaits them outside of what they're used to seeing. And having done that, that takes resources. Well, fortunately, we're in an area, Waukesha, and the churches were very, very extremely supportive of this program. And so starting in 2007, many of the area churches would donate, i.e. will fund this program, which would be enough for us to perhaps train 1 or 2 pilots over the years. And since 2007, we've pushed out 5. We've graduated 5. All of them are either our poster child, his name is Zach. He came into the ministry at the tender age of 12. He said, hey, I just want to deliver Bibles in Central America. That's all I want to do.
Wow.
Well, guess what he's doing? He's delivering Bibles in Central America.
Get out.
Get out of here.
Wow.
And so all of our pilots, we have 2 that are in the Air Force, and we have the other 2 are out flying commercially. But they all started in the ministry.
How about that?
And the nice thing about this, Miss Taylor, they didn't think they would ever be able to do it. They didn't think so.
Right. So let me, just in case I did not state this before, this is a free program for these kids. It is New Beginnings Aerospace Summer Ministry Summer Program. And Juan, you took advantage of this. So I want to know from you, I mean, how did you hear about it? Have you always thought about this, or?
Well, my name is Juan Hogans. I feel like I'm the average, kid. I like sports. I have my own clothing brand, so I'm an entrepreneur. Like you said, I flew on airplanes before, but it wasn't until about last year I went to New York and I got on a helicopter. I looked outside and it's amazing. I liked it. So when I went back home to Milwaukee about 2 months later, I feel like it was God's plan. A couple months later, I got my buddy Aaron. He gave me Dr. Allen's card, so I called him up and he told me about the ministry. I came to the ministry. He was there. We did the Bible verse at the beginning, and he was teaching. There was a lot of kids younger than me, but it was great. Yeah. And when he told me I could do a discovery flight, the first time I got in that cockpit, it was like, wow. And believe it or not, as we went, it's not that, like Dr. Allen said, it's not that hard. It's actually pretty simple.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing.
Just blew your mind, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Candace, what were you thinking when he said, I got this card, I talked to this guy, and he told me about this aerospace program, and I want to take advantage of it, Mom?
Well, I wasn't surprised.
Yeah.
Juan has always been an exceptional child. He always scored at the advanced level in math when, during grade school. And so I knew he was going to do something more on the technical side. I was pushing for accounting or engineering. But when he said he wanted to fly planes, I was not surprised at all.
Yeah. Yeah. So was that okay with you, or how'd you feel about it? He's laughing. So I have a feeling that was a good discussion.
I asked him, I said, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure? Are you going to be safe? Who's teaching? I need to meet him. Where is this taking place? I mean, I had 101 questions.
Yeah.
And after I met Dr. Allen and his wife, Juan had already been in the program studying, and he was flying with Dr. Allen as a co-pilot. So I felt more comfortable with him pursuing this opportunity, and I'm happy he's doing it.
Wow, that's good. And she called you Dr. Allen, so I need to kind of give your credentials out here. So you are a retired Air Force pilot, and you are a retired family physician, right?
Correct.
So you know a lot about exposure, because, even in the medical field, there are not enough doctors of color. So you know about all of this and kind of opening this their minds to, what could be.
What could be.
What could be. So do you just get a lot of enjoyment out of this? You're
Yes,
smiling.
Yes, I do.
I can tell.
And I could, just to add to that, when I see a young black female come through the door,
Yeah.
I'll push one to the side. I say, I really like you, but I really want to talk to her.
Right.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And it is, you talk to any teacher, anyone that works with kids, and when you see that the light bulb goes, when that light bulb comes on and you can see it in them, you know that you have arrived and they have arrived. At that point, you just let them go.
There you go.
They're on their way. See you, Doc.
So let's talk a little bit more about the program. And one thing, Juan was mentioning, feeling that it was something from God. There was that connection in there.
Yeah.
And I know this is a ministry.
Correct.
And, in the summer program, I think you guys begin with prayer, with scripture.
Correct.
And kind of delve into that too. So what makes that element so important?
For two reasons. One, it helps our children internalize good versus bad, doing the right thing. It also gets them into reading and communication skills. That's why we start.
Okay.
And so one of the objectives that Pastor Jerome said is one of our primary missions is to bring our children closer to God. And we do that through scripture and putting them in the air.
Like that. Okay.
Like that.
Yeah. So, it's aerospace ministry. So you guys are, you're dealing with science and math and all of these things because it's an academic element to this.
It is.
Big
It
time.
is.
Yeah. So you are, we talk STEM. You guys are in it. But does it make it, because sometimes people are a little shy. Oh, math. Ooh, math. But when you see how it could be used.
When it's used in action, correct. Then it takes on a different meaning.
Changes the dynamic. Yeah.
Altogether.
Okay. Did you feel that way too?
Yeah, when it's actually for something important and you really want to know.
Yeah.
You want to know that stuff, so, yeah.
Okay. So in the summer program, it's like from 5, you've got up through the teenage years. You're 19, right?
Yeah.
5-year-olds.
Well, this year we started with middle and high school. We went back, actually starting about 4 years ago, we decided to go with middle and high school students. Because by that time when they're in middle school, they have had some science.
Gotcha.
They've had some math. And so they're able to use those skills, those very basic skills, those soft skills, and improving their soft skills will ultimately improve the hard skills later on.
Gotcha.
And so the summer program is really a program, you can call it an after-school bridge type program. So we harp on and we make correlations between what you learned in your physical science class, like Newton's laws and Bernoulli's principles. Then we apply them to airplanes. So when they're flying that airplane, they can internalize what's going on in terms of the scientific part of flying. And then as Juan can tell you, his goal was communication skills. I say, you will arrive when you start talking like and sounding like the man on the 6 o'clock news.
And I think I've arrived. Me personally.
He has arrived.
I would agree with you. You're doing very well. Very well. So in the program, it is on Saturdays during the summer.
Correct.
For 3 hours each Saturday?
Usually we go from 10 to 2.
10 to 2. Okay. And so you start with the Bible verse, and you get into you have simulations too, right?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so I'm sure that's really fun for them, right?
Yeah. I think the younger kids do them more.
Yeah, they can say, "Ew, a video game."
I'm sure. So is your what is your goal with the program? What are you hoping to accomplish with the program, Mr. Allen?
I'm hoping before I leave this earth that when I go out to the airport and the first 10 people I encounter will be people that look like me.
Yeah.
And when I walk as a passenger in the airplane and I look in that cockpit, and I see people that look like me. Yeah. And so when I go out to various airports and I'm talking with folks, a line crew or people behind the counter, they look like me.
Yeah.
So my ultimate goal is to bring this what used to be a homogeneous population of people. Yeah, we just need to mix it up a little bit.
Right, right. So how do you find these kids? Now somebody gave him a card. How do you get to these kids? Because getting into the kids in the inner city who really need this exposure, because we're talking about untapped skills here. How do you get there?
Well, believe it or not, we get there through what we're doing now. Our young people that have come through the program says, hey, you want to learn how to fly for free? Talk to this person.
Right.
And so it's through word of mouth over the past that we've been able to promote this program. Many of the area churches out in Waukesha know of this program. And so what we're doing now, we're sort of new. This is our second year that we've been out at Timmerman.
Okay.
And last year we had about 25 kids. This year we had about 40. So the word is slowly getting out. And I would imagine the next year or so, be careful what you pray for.
But I mean, you're cultivating the pilots
Correct.
to help you. Very good. So I think I'm going to just go ahead and take a break right here because I want to come back and talk to you guys a little bit more about this program. Juan, what you've learned, where you're going, where you plan to take all of this.
For sure.
And Mom, how you have seen the changes that you've seen in Juan because of this program. Okay. So we're going to take a break. Again, you're listening to the 411 Live. Real people, real talk, definitely. We'll be right back.
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I feel that I'm not getting the attention that I need. And it's a lot built up in my chest. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at sounditouttogether.org.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
Welcome back to the 411 Live. I'm Beverly Taylor, and my guests are Charles Allen. He is the Program Director of New Beginnings Aerospace Ministry. Juan Hogans, who is a student, future pilot, and his mom, Candace Hogans. Thank you all again for being with me. Let's just talk about a few things. I'll start with you, Juan. How has this program changed you?
Before I came into Dr. Allen's program, I would never, ever, ever think about being a pilot because it's like it's our people, you don't see people of our color doing that thing, so you think, it's not for us. But coming into Dr. Allen's program, it has really taught me, you can do this. It's possible, and it's not that hard. You can do it.
Yeah. Candace, what kind of changes or what have you noticed in your son since he's been involved?
Well, he came into the program, I guess you were 18 years old, so that's a transition in itself from high school into adulthood. So I did see him become more responsible and making sure that he got to these classes every Saturday morning when he would sleep until noon before. So I saw the excitement and, he was just very determined and responsible and I just knew it was more of a job for him instead of him learning and picking up a new skill.
Yeah.
It was something that was number one on his things to do list.
Absolutely. And I'll ask you, you told me to call you Chuck. So Chuck, what changes, what have you seen? You've seen a lot of different kids, and I'm sure you have a lot of stories.
Yes, I do.
What have you seen?
Well, Juan was the typical student that we love to see come into the program. Would know very little, had no idea what was going on, and timid. He was somewhat timid and shy, didn't want to talk. And I would say, well, that's going to change. The responsibilities, becoming more attentive.
Yeah.
As you're going to find yourself being more attentive and listening more than what you have in the past. And the beauty of the program is we see this. I mean, it's like a checkbook. Their first flight, their eyes,
Right.
and they say, "I can really do this." Yes, you can. And then they, believe it or not, they've come to discover what textbooks and reading and studying is all about. Yeah, you have to, I press that. I'm sorry, this is called a textbook, and believe it or not, either you got to read it in a hard copy or Google the subjects, but you got to read.
Yeah.
And hence, their reading skills will increase. The math skills will increase. Oh, I hate math. They cry about it. And then we explain why mathematics, why weight and balance is so important. Not being able to calculate and do that correctly can kill people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they internalize that as well, and they come to understand the importance of those numbers. But then the best part is when you see these shy, young, and Juan knows what I'm talking about. I say it's getting ready to talk as a pilot. You hear pilots coming across the loudspeaker, or you don't get to hear them when they're talking to a tower or center. You don't get to hear what they're saying. So very early on in Juan's training, as we do with all the students, I say, when you key that mic, you're talking to the whole world can hear what you sound like. And they're already starting to form an opinion of what type of pilot you are when you key that mic. And the first couple of times, it was a disaster. Yeah. But I say the time will come. I use me as an example. I said, when you start talking just like I do on the radio, and you won't become intimidated, and when you key that mic, people will know, hey, who's ever speaking, that's a sharp person. They know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Just by the way you present yourself when you communicate.
This person's about business.
This person is about business.
Right. Yeah. I know that there are a lot of skills, a lot of lessons. What were the challenges? What did you find most challenging?
Well, the most challenging, like Dr. Allen said, the communication for sure.
Right.
Because we fly at a untowered field, so, you don't have to talk to another person. So you just talking and just basically talking to yourself, basically. But the first time we went over to a tower field where we actually have to talk to a tower and they have to tell us what to do, it was kind of intimidating. I say that was the biggest challenge I've had, for sure.
Okay. The academic stuff, no problem.
The academic is it's definitely not as hard as the communications,
So when you get these kids in, you were saying a word of mouth is a great thing, but people are going to be listening to this now, and they're going to think, I want my kid to get there. And it's just not boys, it's girls too, right?
Just as a quick note, the ministry actually started targeting young black women.
Is that right?
That's right. But we call them knucklehead. Our knucklehead young men decided to say it's unfair. Why should they get to fly? We want to do it too. Right. And so they were right. So why should we just restrict it to our young black women? Our young black men need just as much help.
Right. Are you getting a lot of young black women?
Not as many as I would hope for.
So maybe this will help. So if they're listening, what do they need to do?
You have my contact information. Please call me.
Okay.
Please call.
All right.
Or text or email.
And I think I just kind of Googled it.
Or Google. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
New Beginnings Aerospace Ministry.
And the poster child pops up.
Oh, that's you.
Yeah.
Oh, how nice. Honored in so many ways, right?
Seriously.
So where do you go with this one from here?
Well, I'm currently about 45 hours. I need one more step to get my private pilot's license. That's the check ride. That's the big test.
Oh, wow.
Currently training for it, but by the end of my my flight career, I definitely want to have been to the airlines, and I want to open my private charter. So Yeah.
Oh, man. You are truly thinking ahead. I'm impressed.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Goals, plans, long term. Yeah.
So I know that Mr. Allen is all about exposing others to this. But now that you've gone through this, right?
Yeah.
And you've been exposed to the world of aviation and aerospace.
For sure.
There are folks, little younger ones, in your neighborhood, in your environment.
Yeah.
How will you kind of mentor them?
One thing I would tell anybody my age is anything you even find a little bit of an interest in, just try it. Because anything is possible. Just try it. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it. But it's just so many ways and good things that can come out of, just anything. So just anything is possible, go try it.
Yeah, because you were mentioning that you've flown on a flight before you got into this program. You've flown. But when you're doing that, you're not thinking in terms of, I could do this.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking at all. I was just fascinated by, being in the air and flying over the building. I was in New York, so it was just a beautiful view of all the high buildings and everything. But when I came back and my buddy Aaron gave me the number, I was like, why not? Just try it.
Yeah,
and luckily, I came this far, and I'm going to go a lot farther. So.
Right. Because I know a lot of kids, they're watching TV.
Yeah.
They're seeing a lot of things. But they don't think of in terms of what they're seeing. Maybe I could do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is one of those examples of look beyond and think of how it could impact you.
Yeah, for sure. And I work at the General Mitchell Airport, and I've been working there for almost a year, and I've maybe seen 2 pilots of color. So it's like you said, it's rare, and just the fascination of just being a pilot, period, but a pilot of color is just out of this world.
Very cool. So, Mom, your son looks like he's on the path of aerospace and aviation. And, well, you could get some, what are those, the buddy tickets or,
The buddy passes. I haven't utilized it yet, but I'm definitely on his list.
And you're okay with this and,
Yeah, absolutely. Juan is a good kid. He's always been. So I've always instilled in him to put God first and to be a good person, do the right thing, always look out for family. And he's took those morals and values, and I'm not afraid of what he's going to do next.
With doing what you're doing, you see the connection to that textbook, the schoolwork that you did, and how it all relates. That's great. Well, I have to tell you, we're out of time. I told you it was going to go fast.
I was just getting warmed up.
I know you were. This is a great program. New Beginnings Aerospace Ministry. Google it. If they're looking at our YouTube, we've got that information on there as well. So this will be great, and hopefully you'll be in that challenging point where you need more pilots to teach more kids. That's what we're hoping.
That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Thank you so much. Charles Allen with New Beginnings Aerospace Ministry. Juan, who is a student, who is a future pilot.
For sure.
And Candace Hogans, the supportive mom.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. And thank you for joining us for another episode. Remember, we are a nonprofit organization. If you would like to partner with us, go to our website, the411live.org. Until next time, I'm Beverly Taylor. This is the 411 Live. Real people, real talk. If you would like to check out past episodes, there are many ways. Go to your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Like and watch us on Facebook. Watch and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you have suggestions for future episodes, go to our website, the411live.org.